What up? Welcome into the 44th episode of the Save Saturdays podcast. I am your host, Ethan Petrick. Joining me are your usual cast of characters, suspects, if you will, Ethan Cherry, Ryan Bentz, and the ever walking around his apartment, Will Reason. How you guys doing this week? Not all
Doing
great.
Doing great.
Yep, just got back from Florida, a little sunburn, but we're feeling great.
Yeah, so I feel like, Ethan, should you tell us a story about the 7-foot fish that wasn't?
Yeah, so we paid some money, got a fishing charter, me and my brother, when we went out there, and my brother hooked a 7-foot sailfish. The host guessed it was about 7 feet, and we got to jump up a couple times. It looked huge. He got it within about 20 feet of the boat, but then the line broke off, and we couldn't bring it in. It was kind of sucked, but it was cool even like seeing it jump and everything.
Would
That's
you say
crazy.
that this looks like the culprit?
Yeah, that was definitely it. It was actually bigger than that.
Ooh.
That's crazy. There was this one time where I was on a fishing charter and we actually hooked a 14-foot sailfish, and we got it within 10 feet of the boat until the line broke.
Yeah,
And
well,
our line was actually
we
twice.
actually caught a whale shark.
Our line was actually twice as strong, so it was even more impressive that the fish we were reeling in broke.
I hand lined an elephant.
Speared him.
That sounds funny, man. Elephants are endangered. You should probably be turned in for that. All right, let's get into the question of the week. After that great casual intro to the show, is it holiday season, or when does holiday season start? When Ryan hopped on the call tonight, he greeted me with a season's greetings, and I questioned if it was even the holiday season yet. We'll take an answer from Will Reason first.
I don't even know. Why would it not be? Why would right now not be the holiday season? I'm confused.
What's your
I just went
answer?
out to the store and there was Christmas trees and pianos and candy canes everywhere.
So
Sure.
when does it start for you?
Okay,
After
this-
Halloween and beyond.
if this isn't the holiday season, then there is no holiday season. And if I'm being honest, people are going to hate me for this. I start listening to Christmas music in like middle of October. I'm early. I'm all for it. I just disregard Thanksgiving. I don't think Thanksgiving's that great of a holiday. It's very overrated. I just it's whatever. I get a couple days off of work, and that's all it is for me. And I get to go see family. If we're being honest, the food is not that great at Thanksgiving. Christmas season starts in October, and it goes through all of winter.
Yeah.
So like March?
February.
It stays up through January for sure.
Absolutely.
Right.
As long as there's snow on the ground, it's the holidays.
Yep, you got it.
But what about in Hawaii, where they don't get snow?
They're just miserable there.
We'll let them figure out.
I'd have to say that for me, the holidays start, like what Will said, after Halloween. That's when I start listening to my Christmas music. That's when I start getting the trees up and Christmas decor all over. I think after Halloween, season's greetings start from there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Halloween is right after Halloween. It's way too early still, and I would say at the earliest it should be like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is when the holiday season begins. And quite frankly, I got to go with this year. It's going to be December 16th. So this Friday is going to be the start of the holiday season because that's when bowl season starts. That's the holiday season. That's when you know it's almost Christmas. Is when you start seeing bowl games on TV.
Fair enough.
So yes, that's my hot take. Thanksgiving is an excellent holiday. I just don't feel like it starts. I don't think you need a month of holiday. I think you only need about 2 weeks of the Christmas season.
Well, humbug, Ethan Petrick.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, like I said, I don't know Christmas. I'm not making people work on Christmas. Which, just so you guys all know, I have you all down for a podcast on Christmas. We're going to do an 8-hour show. So
Nice. I like it. A little Christmas.
Speaking of Christmas, I'm sure this is like Christmas for Ethan Cherry as we get into our first topic. Whoa, drama in Green Bay. Jordan Love looking to potentially request a trade, according to reports, if Aaron Rodgers remains with the Packers next season. What are our thoughts? Is Jordan Love going to have a trade market? I think is my biggest question about this topic. Sound off, Will. You're the one that brought up this topic, so go ahead and tell us what entices you about this news.
I mean, find where I'm at here. Do I think he should? I'm not gonna predict what's happening. Do I think he absolutely should request a trade? Absolutely. I think Jordan Love has shown that he's a talented quarterback. I mean, and the Green Bay Packers are married to Aaron Rodgers, and he's kind of going wackadoodle. His personal life, I don't know what he's doing, kind of dancing around the fire, smoking peyote, things he does in his off time. But clearly football is not number one. And he needs a talented team around him right now. And without Devontae Adams, I don't think he's going to mesh with these young wide receivers. So if I'm Jordan Love, you're dang right. Maybe I'll go someplace that's a little warmer too. The Raiders, it's nice in Vegas this time of year.
Well, I think there's another quarterback that might be headed to Las Vegas after this season. Cherry, I said it might be Christmas for you. I'm sure you got to be loving what's going on, the disarray with the division rival.
Yeah, the Packers suck, and nothing's ever made me more happy. So, but honestly, I think there will be a trade market for him. Someone will give up, I don't know, probably a fourth or a fifth for him, I think. He's not going to get a lot, obviously. But, I mean, the one game he played against the Eagles, he looked okay. If I was the Packers, I'd trade Rodgers because he also stinks, and you have to actually see what you have in Love. And I'd commit to Love, but I don't think Love is that great either at the same time. He hasn't shown me enough to buy in yet, and I don't think he ever will, no matter how good he could throw 60 touchdown passes in the next 2 games. I won't believe in him.
So what I'm hearing is you're very, unbiased. You got like clear eyes on this topic. Yeah.
I'm just taking this from a third party standpoint. I have no, how do they say it? No horse in this race.
How they say it.
Yes. I think that's how.
Ryan, if you were a betting man as you are, what do you think for Mr. Love?
Yeah, so if that's true, Rodgers decides to stay with the Packers next year. I think it's probably time for Love to go in a different direction. It's also, a big question is if he's going to remain as a backup quarterback or if there's going to be a team that'll look to, start him or, play him a lot because he hasn't been playing a lot at all. So I haven't really got to see him play on the NFL level. But I think it'd be good odds if Rodgers stays. He'll probably find himself in the trade talk.
Well, as the resident Packer fan here on the podcast, I like where Cherry's coming from. I do think it's time for the Packers to move on from Will coming from Memorial Stadium tonight. I do think it's time for the Packers to give Jordan Love the shot, move on from Rodgers. I'm just a little bit exhausted by, I guess, the circus that comes with 12 at quarterback right now. So I'm ready to see Jordan Love. I liked him out of college at Utah State. I mean, he had the Aggies in the top 10 total offenses last year. I don't even know where the school's at. Wherever the school's at, Utah State. He had them in the top 10. And I liked the draft pick when it happened. I'm on record. I love Jordan Love. I think he's going to be a legit quarterback in the NFL. And his one game starting where he didn't have a chance to practice with Devontae Adams the entire week, and then Devontae showed up for the game. And so even though he had Devontae, he didn't have any chemistry with him. He goes for 190 yards, nearly beats the Kansas City Chiefs, who went to the AFC Championship last year. And so, and that was the first game of that Kansas City defense churning their season around and becoming one of the best defenses in the NFL to finish the year. And that's momentum they brought into this year as one of the top total defenses in the National Football League. So Jordan Love showed pretty good poise in that one with his family up in the nosebleeds, freezing their butts off. absolute disrespect from the Kansas City Chiefs. Jordan Love goes out there and plays well enough to win the game. Mason Crosby misses 2 field goals. Otherwise, they would have won the game 16-13 or whatever it was. They would have won. So, yeah, I think Jordan Love has what it takes. He's, in his limited action last year, didn't look like a super solid option for the Packers. But this year, against the Eagles, I thought he looked excellent. And I'd love to see a little bit more of him. Love to see him start a full season at least in Green Bay. Yeah, Will's got a question.
So with that being said, everyone's gone around the table. What does a possible landing spot for Jordan Love look like? Are we throwing the Raiders in there? Are we throwing the Seahawks in there? Do we like what Geno Smith's doing?
I'm glad you brought it up because I have thought about it. What's a team? That Jordan Love's big thing out of college. It wasn't his accuracy, it wasn't his mobility, right? It was that cannon of an arm he has. What's a team that can go deep, but maybe doesn't have the quarterback for it right now? Miami. I think Jordan Love would look great in a Dolphins uniform, and I think he would look great throwing it to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle every year. I don't know if Miami's sold on Tua, especially after the last 2 games he's played. He looked awful. 3 for 17 to start the game against the Chargers, who don't have their top cornerback, are missing like 6 starters on defense. I think the Miami Dolphins might take a flyer, and they keep Tua. They tell Tua, "Hey, you're our starter. We're just bringing this guy in because we're not sold on Skylar Thompson. I know you love Skylar Thompson, Will, but maybe they're not sold on Skylar Thompson." So they bring in Jordan Love, and then he outplays Tua in camp, and they move on from Tua, roll Jordan Love, Skylar Thompson as their 1-2. I think Miami's the top spot. Anyone, great landing spots for my guy Jordan Love.
Not what I was expecting you to say, but fair enough.
What were you expecting? What landing spot would you anticipate would be a good one?
I like the Seahawks. I think Tyler Lockett, Metcalf. I think you get the same effect as you do in Miami. Maybe not Tyreek with the speed, but I don't think anyone is anyone sold on Geno Smith here. Like, do we think Geno Smith's an option for the Seahawks going down the road in the next few years?
I think he could start next year.
4 or 5 years down the road. Like, if you're looking at the future of the franchise, I don't think
Geno 4 or 5 years. No,
Geno Smith's a good bridge guy, and he's been amazing this year. But I think Jordan Love is better down the road than Geno Smith. And even if you want to bring in Jordan Love and have him work with Geno, that veteran experience, could help a lot. But if I'm Jordan Love, I definitely like Seattle.
I'm not big on the whole Seattle thing. I think they're pretty in on Jordan Love, and so I don't even think it's an option really. I think they're all in on Geno.
Because they like Geno. If they like Geno, he's the numbers has backed it up. You can't ball don't lie. He's balled this year. Denver? What about Denver?
Is Geno Smith bald? That's the real question. Does Geno Smith have hair on the top of his head?
And another place they could go. I like him going to Chicago. They're looking for a quarterback.
No, maybe the Broncos. Maybe the Broncos would be a target.
Broncos. I was thinking the Broncos.
What about a team like the New York Jets? They're definitely not sold on Zach Wilson.
They got some good receivers. I could see him working well there. I think their O-line isn't too bad either. I think Becton is hurt for the rest of this year, but he was playing pretty good. Elijah Vera Tucker is a decent guard they got. So, yeah, I think he would work well there. Garrett Wilson's a star. He's so good.
The only thing I think Jordan Love, we need to know about him if he wants to go to the Jets is he scared of ghosts? Because he will have to play them twice a year, one time in New England, and they'll come to his house in his closet, and they'll come out and scare him. So, if he's good with ghosts and elite defenses, then, yeah, he can come to the Jets and try his hand.
Well, I wouldn't be too concerned about a team that has no offense right now and only runs quick game.
Hey.
All right. I think we've reached the natural conclusion of our Jordan Love there, and we'll move on to our next topic. The Colorado Buffs, the Buffaloes, they hire Deion Sanders, replacing Carl Durrell. Actually, is the coach that he's replacing. and he basically comes in and wants to clean house and wants to clear out the roster, tells all of his players to transfer, basically revokes every scholarship that Colorado offered in this recruiting cycle. Is this hire from Colorado going to work out? Is this going to be the right move in Boulder?
Well, I've been. This is a topic I have not been really keeping my eye on, but I did see one thing. You mentioned he's doing a lot of changes, making a lot of changes. He's very adamant about the stuff he believes in as a coach. And I saw this clip. He was talking to his players in a meeting, and I guess he restricted hats in meetings, and I don't know, just kind of rules like that. It's just a lot of changes for me. I don't know if it's not going to happen fast for him. It'll take time, I think, especially with all those changes he wants to make. But he's a great coach. It'll be interesting for sure. See where he takes him.
Sounds like Cherry would not be allowed on Colorado.
Neither would Will.
Yes. Will a forward hat kind of guy, though. Oh, Will's at Folsom Field now.
With the hat off.
Yeah, I just got done talking to Deion Sanders. Had a good conversation.
The real question is, who's going to be the better legacy-wise Colorado coach? Deion Sanders, Michael Jones?
Well, one of them has won an Orange Bowl and has produced a Heisman winner. Runs the triple option. Haven't seen it out of Deion yet. I see him throw one pass and he's out. I better not see any passes thrown.
I think that personally, this is probably the best hire that was made during the cycle. You just looking at how much people have discussed on a national scale, Colorado. Like Joel Klatt would mention the Buffs during the season that they needed a coach, and he mentioned that he thought that they would be like, if they got the right guy, they would be super relevant and they could turn it around, right? But that was maybe like 4 minutes at the end of his show, once a month. Now with Deion Sanders, he can do an entire 30-minute show with Bruce Feldman on Deion Sanders and the impact he's going to have in Colorado and at the Pac-12. And it makes complete sense. And people who are talking about Colorado right now weren't even thinking about Colorado 4 months ago. So just on that impact alone, Deion Sanders was totally like the best hire. Let me pull up the tweet real quick. But it's incredible the impact that he has had in Boulder. It's like all merch sales, all season ticket sales, everything
NIL
just went
money.
through the roof. What was that?
NIL money too.
Yeah, it's been incredible. Their best merch sales day ever. Added 175,000 social media followers and surpassed 2,000 season ticket interest forms, all in just the Saturday after Deion Sanders was hired. So they've won national championships in Boulder, but quite frankly, I don't think they've ever been more relevant than they are right now.
Well, I'm gonna push back on you there, Ethan. I think this is expected. I think anywhere he would have gone, there would have been all this hoopla. It's Deion Sanders. He's the guy. Football, baseball, guy does it all. I think it's going to be a little harder than he thinks and everyone else thinks to bring this around. Colorado is quite honestly one of the worst football teams right now. With the transfer portal, he's going to bring in multiple 4 and 5 stars, and that's all great. But I think this is a big jump from the SWAC conference, which was not exactly known for elite football play, jump into a Pac-12. And this is not only just the Pac-12, it's a Pac-12 with emerging stars like, Caleb Williams, USC, Utah bring it together. Oregon, this is a very tough Pac-12 than what we saw from 5 years ago. And especially he's got Nebraska next year on the schedule. That'll be a big game.
Opens with TCU also.
Opens with TCU. I think it's going to be a little bit of a shock for him. I think he's definitely going to bring it around eventually. I think just the media and the perception in sports is that he's going to have Colorado winning 9-10 games in the first 2 years just because of 4 and 5 star recruits. which, like we saw from Texas, Ryan Bentz, it doesn't matter how many 4- and 5-star recruits you have. If you're playing tough competition, it's very easily to drop a few games and go 7-5, 6-6. It can happen. A few injuries happen. I don't know. I think it'll be a little tougher than I think people expect.
I agree with Petrick on this one. I think it's a home run. You got to swing for the fences nowadays in college football. And like he said, they've never been more relevant. They're bringing in a lot more money. They're bringing in way better recruits than they have before. I think next year, I would say probably around 8 or 9 wins for Colorado. And if you watch them talk too, guys are going to want to buy in. If you don't buy into, like, he's such a big personality and everything, like, guys want to play for Deion.
Yeah, and I don't really understand where you're coming from with this. He's not gonna. It's gonna be a while. It's not gonna be instantaneous for him in the Pac-12. When you can literally look at USC and be like, okay, they were a 4-8 team last year. Hire Lincoln Riley and get some key transfers, some crucial transfers, and the next year they're 11-2 fringe playoff team. I don't think they're going to be that good, but I certainly think that 8, 9, 10 wins is doable in year one, especially with the kinds of players he's already attracting to Boulder. He's going to attract some top tier talent in the transfer portal. We already saw that Malachi Coleman, the top player in Nebraska, former Nebraska commit, top 100 player in the country, switches his final visit from Michigan to Colorado. And he might not be interested in playing for the Buffs at all, but all they have to do is get him on campus and do a really good job selling him, and boom, he's a Buffalo. He wasn't interested 2 weeks ago, but one of the greatest football players of all time hit his line, and that's all it took to get him to Colorado. I think that this has the potential to turn around quick, and I think we're going to know by the end of next year if this is going to work out or not. And we might know by their spring game, quite frankly, with just what they look like on the field, the kind of product they have. And I think one of your biggest concerns, Will, because you mentioned the quality of the SWAC conference, is that he doesn't have the coaching acumen. He doesn't have the coaching experience to be successful at this level. Well, what does he do? He goes and brings in an offensive coordinator who was the former head coach, who was the current head coach at Kent State, now former, was the current head coach at an FBS program that had the 44th best offense in the country in terms of total offense. So top 50 offense in his first year at Kent State. That's his new offensive coordinator. That guy certainly knows how to coach at the FBS level. And then his defensive coordinator is another highly talented guy that he poached from Alabama. That guy definitely knows how to coach at the Division I level. He was the defensive backs coach at Alabama. They're always known for quality defensive back play. I mean, this is a star-studded staff around Deion Sanders. So the X's and O's, Deion doesn't even need to worry about that. He just needs to go out and recruit and be prime time. I think you're completely off base with your take here, Will. And I don't think they need to be worried about Nebraska at all. Nebraska needs to be seriously concerned whether or not they're going to get beat by 21 or not in Folsom.
I think exactly what you described is the problem in the media right now. Is just I think Deion, NFL Pro Bowler, All Pro guy, he's a celebrity, and he does know his X's and O's. But I think just because the name's coming, they just think the wins are coming too. And you brought up USC. In what world was Colorado the same level of program that USC was? And they brought in Lincoln Riley, who coached 2 Heisman winners at Oklahoma, one of the best offensive minds in the country. That wasn't just like any other, deal. This is Colorado. They've never really been that great except for maybe a few years in the 90s. Not to mention, I don't think he even stays at Colorado very long if he is successful. I don't think. There's nothing tied to this university other than his son. He'll graduate 4 years later. He'll be off to the SEC. So I don't know. I'm not sold yet until I go out there and see some actual wins and see some improved play from the Buffs. But just off his celebrity alone, I'm not buying into the Buffs. I like Nebraska's odds next year. I think we're gonna be right there with them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's gonna be at Colorado forever either. Like, don't get me wrong, but he's going to be there at least 2 years because that's how long Shadur Sanders has left in college. He's already been a 4-year starter. So unless he goes pro after 1 year, I think that Deion will be in Boulder for at least 2 years. And I think that's plenty of time to reload. And I never said that Colorado and USC were at the same level. I just said, I understand that Colorado is at a lower point than USC was last year when they brought in Lincoln Riley. But I still think there's that potential that they can go out and get 8, 9, 10 wins, which is less than USC. I said I didn't think that they were going to be at USC's level next year. I just think that they have the potential to be a legit threat in the Pac-12. And as for Nebraska being a threat or not, Matt Rule is 3-21 in his first year at combined in his first year at Temple and his first year at Baylor. Matt Rule is not a year one turnaround guy. So I don't think that you need to be concerned about Nebraska at all unless you're the FCS team that's coming getting a check to play in Lincoln next year. So I Colorado is probably going to start 1-1. They'll probably lose to TCU, but after that, it's anyone's ball game. After that, those final 10 games, I think are going to be incredibly exciting.
Hey, I think this sounds like a pretty good Bob bet brewing up here.
Oh, that reminds me, we were going to do a Bob bet update, so we'll get to that after this segment here. But what's your what are you looking for on this Bob bet?
Just Nebraska versus Colorado next year, straight up.
All right.
We'll do 5.
Oh, I only want to do 1.
Oh, looks like someone's not as confident in the Bucks, maybe, as we might have thought. Scared
as many as you want.
As soon as we start bringing up Bob Toast, suddenly he might be walking back that take a little bit.
I'm confident enough to put 85 cents on the line. I just don't really feel like giving you 5 toasts. I'm worried about your weight, buddy. That's a lot of butter. That's a lot of butter.
I'll eat a salad that day.
Salad. Yeah. Cherry, you sounded like you wanted to go after Will for that as well.
Dude, Will, as many Bob Toasts as you want to go, I'm here for it.
I said 5. Let's do
5. Let's do it.
Wait, Cherry's got Buffs too?
Yeah, I got the Buffs.
I want Nebraska.
I'll do it with you too.
Bet.
5 for each of you guys.
I'm loving it.
Absolutely.
We got to go to this game now.
You want to
Tickets
go?
Are very expensive.
Yeah, go gander at ticket prices.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe after I hit my bowl game parlay, I can my $2.50 parlay on 20 bowl games.
I like it.
All right. That'll do it for our Coach Prime talk. I'm going to throw it back to this lovely picture that we didn't get to watch while I do our Bob Bet review here. Yeah, Cherry looks like he's about to have some sort of reaction, so I'll go ahead and leave it on before we have puke vomit on screen. So far, there have been 1, 2, 3, 4 Bob bets decided. 0 have been paid up, and Will has come out the best of us all. He is owed 5 Bob toasts from Ethan Cherry because the Raiders are definitely not going to finish above the Chiefs. Oh, never mind. That's 2 Bob toasts. That's 2 Bob toasts for Cherry from Will. So it's really only 3 combined between. So Cherry, you owe Will 3
for that Chiefs Raiders pick.
No, it's a different one. It's because Cherry bet on Oklahoma over KSU, and you chose K-State. So, Will, you chose
K-State.
That was for 5.
Oh, okay.
And then you
I
lost
beat
to
you on
Cherry that you thought the Raiders were going to finish above the Chiefs, and you guys put 2 on that one. So, Cherry, you owe Will 3.
Got it.
Must have been drunk that episode.
Ryan,
what's up?
Owes Will a box combo for let's see here. Where did I get a box combo from? Oh, it was also for the Kansas State KSU game. So Ryan also took Oklahoma. And then Ryan also owes Will 2 Bob toast for taking Utah over UCLA. UCLA was the winner there. So
wow.
Will doing very well for himself. And then Cherry, your only win was the one I already have mentioned. And then I am owed a Caniac from Ryan for 2 scoring drives from Brian Hoyer after he got hurt during the second drive. So that's where we're sitting. I expect all my bets to be paid up by midnight tonight.
Ooh.
So pressure's on. All right, now that we're done with that break, college football playoff reactions, predictions as we cover up Will's face with the banner here. No one wanted to see that anyway. What do we think of the 4 teams in the playoff? What do we think of the matchups? Is there anyone that you felt was more deserving for the playoff this season? Go ahead and go to Will, who seems to be fairly pleased with the 4th team to make it in.
What are we picking a team? I mean, they got to go Big Ten. I'm going Michigan all the way. I think they got a cakewalk against TCU, round 1. That's going to be a nothing burger. Georgia, Ohio State's going to be a tough one. I'm excited to see how Ohio State plays Georgia because I don't think Georgia's ready for that explosive offense, if we're being honest. I think we didn't see the real Ohio State against Michigan. And Georgia kind of cakewalked through the whole season. And Ohio State, after that loss to Michigan, there was nothing worse that could happen to their season than getting blown out at home against the biggest rival in your program. They're going to come out hungry. I think that offense is going to come out swinging. They're going to take the deep shots. They're going to go deep, and they got the best receivers in the country. And Stetson Bennett, all it takes is 1 or 2 mistakes, and Ohio State can be up 2-3 scores in the third. So I'm praying for a Michigan-Ohio State matchup in the championship. I know Cherry wants to see that too. College football fans everywhere want to see that matchup. So that's what I'm dreaming about every night.
Yeah, I think
What does Michael think about the playoff for here?
He's just not happy. Just whiny from his precious Alabama. Didn't somehow above Tennessee still, even though they both have 2 losses and Tennessee beat Bama. But you know what? I'm done with the Alabama talk because they're gone. There's nothing to talk about. They're just
Irrelevant.
Exactly.
We'll talk about them losing to K-State and Adrian, but that's another segment.
But I think they at least got the 4 teams right. I would have loved to see Michigan, Ohio State again, and hopefully we get that. I think Ohio State's going to be a tougher matchup, probably the toughest matchup that Georgia's had this season, definitely. And Ohio State's going to throw it downfield, but I think Georgia comes out on top on that one, but I could totally see Ohio State winning it at the same time. But I think TCU is going to put up a good fight against Michigan too. And if I'm being honest, I think I trust TCU's quarterback. I definitely trust a lot more. And I could definitely see TCU pulling out a win in this one because at the end of the day, I don't really trust J.J. McCarthy running that Michigan offense. Against Ohio State, he had guys wide open downfield. And if they also had some big runs from Donovan Edwards. But if TCU finds a way to shut down Donovan Edwards and could just cover guys downfield, I think Michigan could be in trouble here. I would agree that they probably should be the favorite, but I think this is a lot closer game than a lot of people think.
A little bit different if Michigan had Blake Corum behind J.J. McCarthy, but Donovan Edwards, not the bruiser that Corum is. Corum is going to get like 4 to 6 yards every play, no matter what. Donovan Edwards is a little bit more susceptible to getting shut down. Definitely more of a home run hitter, but if you're only hitting a home, if you're batting 100,
his average sucks. Yeah.
If you're batting 10%, if you're only hitting on 10%, then TCU's gonna have a real shot in that game. I'm with Cherry. I think it's going to be a close game. I think that TCU's going to come out on top, mainly because I don't want to have 2 of the same conference in the championship. I don't like it when the SEC does it. So just because I'm a Big Ten homer, I can't like it when the Big Ten does it. So I'm going to say TCU gets the win over Michigan. And then I don't trust Stetson Bennett to lead the Georgia offense to enough points against Ohio State. And I think this Georgia defense, something that people aren't really paying a lot of attention to, isn't as good as last year's. So I think this is a tough matchup for Georgia. And so I'm going to go ahead and take Ohio State. So I was thinking it's going to be a 3-4 matchup in the championship. And I like TCU in that game. So I like TCU to win the national championship at this point.
That's just the worst take Ethan Peter in his life.
Ryan chuckling over there. He put his head down and he was laughing so hard.
Ryan's wondering why Texas didn't make the Final Four.
I know. I was looking at it. I'm like, wait, Texas is 20th? They should be 2. No. No, but no, that's funny, Ethan. I liked your take.
It's funny because I was talking.
I mean, Texas only lost to teams who beat Texas. Every team that beat Texas is a top 25 win.
That's true. That is a valid statement. Yes. But yes, so I do like I think they got the playoff teams correct. I like Ohio State 4, TCU 3, so on. I would actually like to see a Big Ten championship game. I like Ohio State and Michigan. Like y'all already covered, Georgia, they kind of had, I'm going to use Will's terms as a cakewalk, going through the SEC and pretty much dominated. Ohio State, they've also dominated Big Ten here and there. But Big Ten was a little challenge for them. But again, Will said they're going to be hungry. Or forgive me, I don't know who said it, but they're going to be hungry. And I think Ohio State's going to be the most dangerous team in the playoffs. So I'd have to say Ohio State would be my pick to win.
I just don't want to see Michigan Ohio State because we've already seen that matchup this year. I don't like rematches in the national championship, which is why I'm against conference versus a same conference matchup. I'm looking for a little bit of variety. All right, yeah. That's where I'm at. I was staunchly against it whenever Alabama and Georgia both got in, and that's why I'm excited about the 12-team playoff because I think we're going to get a little bit more variation. Definitely going to see a conference champion from more than 3 conferences make it in. So that's what I'm excited about. Any final thoughts before we get into Saturday's heroes on the college football playoff?
I mean, I always have thoughts, but should they be said out loud?
I'd say more often than not, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move into Saturday's heroes. Cover up Will's face again because we just don't like him that much. And we got Baker Mayfield. Whose Saturday's hero is this?
Nice.
Absolutely. This guy was an absolute stud. I don't care if he only put up 17 points. That last drive, they didn't really let him throw a lot in that game against the Raiders. But that last drive, he was absolutely wheeling and dealing. That was incredible. That was vintage Oklahoma Baker Mayfield that we got for one drive. And overall, yeah, if you look at the stat line, he didn't put up an amazing game with 3 touchdown passes and 300 yards. But he did great with what LA asked him to do. And that was just such an entertaining performance from vintage Baker. I loved it. And he's slamming guys in the head on the sidelines too, just giving himself a concussion. Classic Baker.
Next up, we got Ryan's Saturday's hero, Yusuf El Nazir.
That's correct.
All
and I am actually calling in from Qatar out at their stadium. Not really, it's my background. But Yusuf, from Morocco, 25 years old, had the best. This is his first World Cup performance, and he's had 2 goals in 5 of his matches he's played. And 1 goal, the most important, that beat Ronaldo and Portugal. So they were able to move on to the semifinals, but lost 2-0 to France. But they're going to play Croatia in the 3rd place match. But this guy, he was fun to watch.
All right, soccer, yeah. Hopefully we never get another Saturday's hero from the soccer. My Saturday's hero is going to be Penei Sewell, who catches the first down pass to seal the Detroit Lions' upset win over the Minnesota Vikings. Detroit's been terrible for so long that I, as a Packers fan, no longer really don't dislike the Lions. I hate the Vikings, however, and I hate the Bears. But
I also don't dislike the Vikings or the Lions. I mean,
so Vikings going down is good, and who doesn't love a big man touchdown, big man pass play, whatever. He even went in motion on this play, which makes me question, hey, let's send him in motion, hand the ball off to him, and let him run some skinny dudes over on the perimeter, right? So Penei Sewell is my Saturday's hero, and we're rounded out with Will, who's giving you guys a teaser of his down below.
Wow.
First of all, Ethan, that was probably one of the better Saturday's heroes we've ever had. I was thinking about that one. And the coach Campbell said afterwards, actually, that he didn't know the play call and he was freaking out for about 5 seconds until the play ended. Final story. My Saturday's hero is New York Yankees fans. After Aaron Judge signs for an ungodly amount of money, and a funny stat: the New York Yankees' big three of Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and Red Sox younger child Garrett Cole are worth more than the entire Florida Marlins, Miami Marlins entire organization, by about $100,000, and yet they're still going to be just as bad in the postseason. Absolutely no base hits in the postseason allowed, no home runs, no scoring, as we saw against the Astros. This is going to be the same horrible New York Yankees team we saw year in and year out over the last 5 years. So sit tight, Yankees fans. Maybe pick up a new team, pick up a hobby, do something else other than watch baseball next year, because what you just saw is going to be duplicated next year, and it's going to be just incredible to watch for me. So this is not like they're my hero. This is like just a general warning. Don't turn on baseball this year. You're just going to be disappointed again.
All right, that'll do it for Saturday's heroes, and we'll get into the best segment of the show. Ethan Cherry's Quantum Cherries. Kick it off. Take it away.
All right. Strictly hockey talk. We're doing a quick quantum cherries this week. We're talking Alex Ovechkin last night against my Blackhawks. Hit 800 goals with a hat trick in the game. And from the first goal, you could kind of tell Hawks were off tonight. Alex is hitting 800 tonight. He was at 797 to start the game and got 2 quick wins in the first period, and then from then on it was just a matter of time. And I think he definitely beats Gretzky's record, which is at 894. He's at 800 right now. I believe he's 37 years old, and he's on pace, I think I saw, for about 53, 54 goals this season, and that would give him about 30 more goals, put him at around 830. I mean, he's going to be, if he doesn't get hurt, he's going to be within striking distance within the next 2 seasons. So if you ask the question, I think, how many goals does he end up with? I'm saying he's going to stay until he hits 1,000. I think he hits 1,000. He's a type of guy where he's been super physical his whole career, but hasn't slowed down at all. And I think plays till he hits 1,000, and then he might go to the KHL or something. But yeah, I'm all in on Ovechkin. I love to see him break Gretzky's record.
For 200 more goals?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's 4 seasons of 50 goals.
Huh?
That's at least 4 seasons if you go 50 goals each season.
Yeah. I think Ovechkin's just that good. Like, he's proven it his whole career. He's playing with good players. It's not like he's I don't think he's putting too much physical strain on his body. He's not hitting as much as he used to in his career, but he's still hitting guys a bit. But, like, it's not like earlier in his career, he was going all out for every single goal. But now, like, I don't think he even sweats a lot of games. He's just sitting in that one-timer circle from the left dot and just hammering away. He's never really gotten hurt a ton in his career. If he could stay healthy, I think he could hit 1,000. Yeah.
All right. Well, that might be the hottest take of the show, other than maybe TCU won the national championship. But what else you got for us?
All right. Then we got the New Jersey Devils. I believe they're sitting at second in the NHL standings right now. They went on like a 16-game winning streak, and they're 21-6-2, 3 points behind the Boston Bruins for first place in the National Hockey League. And I'm here to say I do not think that they are legit. I don't think in the playoffs they'll surely get a high seed. They'll make the playoffs, but they don't have the goaltending or the defense to win in the playoffs. I think they're still a couple of years away. And they have a couple good defense prospects. They got Luke Hughes. But I'm just here to say the Devils are not legit yet.
I would agree with you. I don't think that they're going to be a force in the playoffs. They feel like the Milwaukee Bucks from like 3 years ago, where they'd just go all out in the regular season and then get pasted in the second round.
they really need goaltending too, I think, which is so important in the playoffs. If they run into a hot goalie and that offense dries up, which is a high likelihood, especially in the later rounds, I would say they have an okay chance maybe to beat a first-round team, especially if they stay at first in the Metro. But I don't think they're going to beat a lot of those teams in the Metro. I think the Penguins would beat them. I think probably the Islanders if they can make it, but I know they're kind of far back. Carolina would beat them also. But, yeah, I think the Devils are a couple years away.
You mentioned goaltending and the importance of that in the playoffs. My favorite team, the LA Kings, that's going to be a problem for them as well if they want to win at a high level.
Yeah, I didn't they who was the goalie that was on waivers? Cal Peterson was on waivers,
Yeah,
right?
designated Cal.
Yep. Jonathan Quick, you know what? You never know with him. He held up nice in the playoffs last year, though. But I also think like your defense needs a lot of help too, where it's Doughty and it's a big drop off after that, and Doughty isn't what he used to be also. So I think you guys, you really need someone to step up big on that blue line, and I don't see anyone stepping up big unless you guys call up Brant Clark.
No respect for Sean Dursey, man. Come on.
Dursey has been good. You guys got Jordan Spence. You guys got a good future on the blue line. I do like Dursey, and I think Jordan Spence has had a really good season in the AHL so far.
Well, I certainly can tell. I just feel like it's a couple of years away for LA. So I was hopeful that they would make a run after what they did to the Oilers in the playoffs last year, but they don't really seem to have improved a whole lot in the offseason. I thought Fiala was going to have a bigger impact, and he doesn't really seem to. It's been the Velarde party in LA.
Yeah, honestly, he's been very good.
All right, well, we'll stop this from turning into a full-on episode of the Defunct Offsides podcast with Ethan and we'll bring back in Big Bets, Ryan Bentz, and Will. We appear to have lost him. He's not there anymore. So we'll just roll it right into Big Bets, Bentz's Bets of the Week. Ryan, what do you got for us this week?
Hey, yes, welcome back. It's been a while to all my fans out there. Hope you're having a good. What?
There are many fans.
Yes, many. To all my many fans. All right, let's get going. So I'll start with FIFA World Cup. It's been a crazy. It's been a crazy tournament. From one, Cristiano Ronaldo is benched in their semifinal game because the manager is not approving of his attitude, which is just mind-boggling because he's one of the best soccer players in the world, and he's not playing. But anyways, so then Morocco beats him. But I'll start with the third place match now. Croatia, who just lost to Argentina in a very, very close match that went to penalty kicks. And then they play Morocco, who lost 2-0 to France. And then there's your odds are Croatia plus 130, Morocco plus 210, or a draw at plus 250. This is all regular time. So obviously the match won't end up in a draw because you have to have a winner. But I like Morocco to actually come out and beat Croatia. Croatia looks sluggish against Argentina. They couldn't do anything. Actually, forgive me. That game did not end in penalty kicks. Argentina routed them 3-0. So, Croatia just didn't look like a good team out there. Morocco, they've competed this whole tournament. I like them to win 2-1. And then France and Argentina, that's the championship game. And France is looking to go back-to-back World Cup champs with Kylian Mbappe. Their odds are plus 180. Argentina is plus 180, so it's going to be a great matchup. And a draw at 2:05 regular time. I like France to win. France has just been dominant this tournament. Argentina's had its struggles, but I like France to win in regular time to 2-0. Well, Argentina might get some goals.
Wouldn't it be 2-0 too? Isn't that what you're supposed to say?
2-0. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Does this guy even know soccer? Come on.
Yeah, I said it the first time, then I missaid it this last time. But I like France. I'll give Argentina a goal. I'll say 2-1 again. But France is my winner. Moving on NFL. So Thursday night, we got the 49ers versus Seahawks. 49ers are favored by 3.5. I like the 49ers a lot after watching them just dominate over Tampa Bay. So the first Brock Purdy, the first starting QB to beat Tom Brady ever. Crazy. Or no, the first rookie starter.
First time a player
First start.
beat Tom Brady in their first start.
Okay, there we go. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, Saturday, fun fact, Colts versus Vikings. I will be at that game. So it's too bad he's not playing. Otherwise, I would have worn my Texas jersey. But
You can still wear it. He'll still see you, man.
oh, I know. It's respect for each other. All right. So Colts versus Vikings. I like Skull to win. They're favored by 4 points. They just came off a loss last week, so they're going to look to get back on the winning wagon. And I also have some side bets here for Kirk Cousins. He's going to throw over 1.5 touchdowns. He's going to throw over 268.5 yards. I like those a lot. He'll probably have 3 touchdowns, 275 yards in the air. And then one of those touchdowns going to Jefferson, who's my next bet. Jefferson is going to be a touchdown scorer in that game, no doubt. Now it's like Petrick said in the start of the show, you know it's the holidays when it's college football bowl games. So we're going to jump into the bowl games here. I got a few early ones for you. I'm not going to do all of them as much as I'd like to. That'd be fun. But no, I don't want to waste any of y'all's valuable time. So I'll start with SMU versus BYU. SMU favored by 3.5. I like SMU Mustangs. South Alabama versus Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky is my pick, and they're the underdogs by 4.5 points. We got Troy versus UT San Antonio. Troy's favored by 2, but I've been following the San Antonio football team this whole season. They've looked pretty good. I like UTSA to win as well. And then Boise State versus North Texas. Boise State picked by 10.5. Absolutely. Go with Boise State. They're a solid team. North Texas, not so much. And that'll conclude my segment. Thank you very much, Skol Vikings.
Yeah, that's gross. And because of that, we're going to go ahead and end with the official background of courtesy of Will Reason.
Get the other side. Get the other side.
He was very upset I didn't let him back in with that background. I had a plan all along. And with that, we'll go ahead and do Pump the Brakes, Hit the Gas.
Thank you. Thank you.
To end out the show. And so we'll go to my right, down, and then left, finish with Will. So I'll start, then Ryan, then Cherry, then Will. That's the form. Don't say any more than Pump the Brakes, Hit the Gas. Please do not explain your answer. Thank you. Pump the Brakes, Hit the Gas. Max, Doug, and Rob for Heisman. Hit the gas on that. He was absolutely robbed.
Pump the brakes.
Ryan.
Pump the brakes.
Cherry.
Pump the brakes.
Hit the gas.
Luke Fickle is a better hire than Matt Rule. Hit the gas.
Pump the brakes.
Hitting the gas.
Pumping the brakes.
OV is the greatest scorer of our generation. Hit the gas.
You hit the gas.
I'm slamming the gas. I'm slamming it. You heard it there in Quantum Cherries.
Slamming the brakes. David Pasternak.
They're different generations. They're big dog. Will Anderson should be the number one pick. I'm going to say hit the gas on that. Absolutely. Oh, I'm explaining. Will. Ryan.
Pump the brakes.
I'll hit the gas on that.
Hitting the gas.
I don't know who Will Anderson is.
Iowa is going to finish last in the Big Ten West next year. Hit the gas.
Hit the gas.
I hate to be the guy here, but I'm going to pump the brakes.
I mean, if we want to be, I'm pumping the brakes, if we're being honest. Do I want them to? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do a special one. Only Cherry can answer this one. Nebraska is going to finish last in the Big Ten West.
We're going to hit the gas on that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. All right, Montana State is winning the FCS playoffs. Pump the brakes.
I already know all your answers.
Hit the gas. Let's go, Montana
I'll
State.
pump the brakes.
I'm pumping. I'm hitting the gas. Pump the gas. Hit him.
All right. Justin Fields is the best QB from the 2021 class. This was originally said 2020 class when Cherio wrote it, but he is not from the 2020 class, from the 2021 class. And I'm going to go ahead and pump the brakes because it's Sam Ellinger, baby. Big Sam.
I like it.
Wrong way.
Pump the brakes.
You know what? The only competition this guy has is Trevor Lawrence, and he's better than that. Hit the gas.
I'm going to pump the brakes because, Mac Jones has been to a playoff and a Pro Bowl. Enough said.
The Bears almost ended his career.
Next segment.
He kicked
Pro Bowls are pointless these days, but okay. Pro Bowls don't mean anything these days.
And we'll finish no explanation.
Mitch is better than that.
We'll finish it with the question that really divides the four of us. We all have a different way to go with this question. The Waterloo Blackhawks are the best team in the USHL. I'm absolutely hitting the gas, slamming the gas on that one. Ryan.
No, it's my Muskies. Pump the brakes.
If you just take a look at the standings, you know that the Blackhawks have been good, but the Lincoln Stars are clearly a wagon.
I haven't looked at the standings, but I know in recent history, the Tri-City Storm are the current owners of the Lincoln Stars. They own the
they're
White
last
everything around it. It's the Storm.
It's probably not the Storm this year. Pretty terrible. Musketeers did win the Clark Cup last year, so if we're talking in terms of my power ranking thoughts, it should be the Musketeers, the number one spot, but it's absolutely the Blackhawks. Best team in the
Thanks to
USHL.
Sam Renzel.
Jack Spicer and Croto, the two best goaltenders in the USHL, and they got plenty of scorers too as well. So it's absolutely the Blackhawks. And that'll do it for this episode of the Safe Saturdays podcast. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next week.